What's happening, YouTubers? It's your boy CB, and we are back for my favorite segment on the channel, Huddle Watch Alongs with Recruits. On today's episode, for you guys that like quarterback play and for you guys that like the deep ball, I have a special treat for you. Quarterback from the 2026 class, Michael Clayton II has an explosive arm, and his recruiting has just been taking off since the end of his sophomore season, fresh off the Under Armour camp. But you don't want to hear me tell it. You're going to want to hear it from the man himself. So without further ado, one of the fastest rising recruits in the 2026 class, Michael Clayton II. How's it going, bro?
Good man, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, it's Super Bowl Sunday, so we're all gearing up for some football. You've had a pretty busy life since the season ended, recruiting obviously going up. How's that been trying to manage that and camps and obviously just trying to get better, prepare yourself for the next year?
It's been pretty busy, Last off season it wasn't quite like this, so getting the hang of it. I'm starting to do that. Just balancing out my workouts with my reaching out to coaches and stuff like that, and also hitting up camps, stuff like that.
Has it been interesting seeing it basically take off since the season ended? Like, because I know this is obviously a dream of yours, it's something you work for and you work hard for. But then seeing the season ends and then it's like phone call, text, phone call, text, phone call, text. How's that been in real time having that happen to you?
It's a crazy experience, because I didn't have this happen to me last year, so this is my first year experiencing this. I feel really blessed. I couldn't do any of this without the man above, so I give a lot of thanks to him. And I really look to my parents for a lot of advice when going through this. And lately I've been getting the hang of it.
How's that been obviously having someone at home that has been through a similar process, someone that you can on those tough days or on those days when you may be feeling overwhelmed or don't have an answer, you have somebody at home that you know you can just run an idea by, hey, how is this? Should I line this visit up here? Like, which one of these do I not take serious, but how do I prioritize this, especially when it's new? How is that having someone at home you could bounce those ideas off of?
Amazing, not having to put all the pressure on myself, just having somebody that I can trust and look to for advice is really blessed. It's a really
It, it's that extra little tool you can use, not to obviously the decision ultimately is yours, but it is nice when it's like, all right, a little overwhelmed here. How do I schedule this? Just even when it comes to visits, like, all right, it's 4 schools, right? There's only 3 days here. How do I do this? So it's just dope that you have someone that you could, hey, what would you do in this situation? Like, how would you tackle this? And another thing, camp season has just been ramping up with 7-on-7s and everything, and you're coming off a pretty awesome one, the Under Armour UA Next camp. How was that?
It was amazing, man. Just being able to compete with a lot of top guys, and not only at the quarterback position, but seeing a lot of top receivers and DBs there. A
Yeah.
couple of my teammates there, being able to throw to them, it was very good.
And then, so you got something exciting happening for this season, transferring over to a new school. I know that those fans of that school and those players are very excited. They're probably in the comments right now, like, yes, my QB1. How excited are you for that and that next step in your journey?
Really excited, as soon as I got over there, I got a lot of love. They just treated me like I was one of them, and I really appreciate them for that. They could have been standoffish, knowing that I'm the new guy, but they took me in very well, and I've just been able to grow with them for sure.
I'm excited to see what that offense is going to look like next year. And so a couple of coaches that have been hot on your trail lately, I want to talk about one school in particular, Arkansas. You were down there for their junior day. How was that experience?
Amazing, man. As soon as I got down there, I got greeted by the whole coaching staff, and just overall, the whole time I was there, I just got a lot of love, and it felt that place felt like home.
And then you got a coach in Petrino that is known for developing quarterbacks. I mean, one of his guys just won his second MVP this year in the NFL, dual threat guy that many people said was always just going to be a runner, but we saw Petrino have him in a pro style scheme. And I think having a guy like Petrino believe in him and allow him to use his legs, but still develop him as a passer is why we're seeing the Lamar we're seeing now. How cool is that to see a guy like that also look at you and go, oh, yeah, offer him? Like he sees that same, not Lamar, but he sees that same potential for you in his style of offense.
I mean, it's just a huge blessing, being able to be on that stage where guys like him just look to me as as a guy that they can see in their offense, and it's just a crazy feeling. And as when I got up there, it's just me and him were talking a lot. There was no awkwardness. It's just as soon as I got up there, it was just straight love.
I love that because he's a quarterback's guy. So I would imagine he had as much as you had that penciled on your schedule, he did too. He was like, "Oh yeah, Clayton coming up today." Like he was probably just as excited as you were. You probably thinking like, is he excited? He probably telling people, "Hey, the 26 kids coming in next." Like he was probably just as hyped. Another coach, another school that was on you really early too, Ole Miss. How is that relationship over there with Ole Miss and one of the most charismatic coaches in college football, Lane Kiffin?
It's great, man. I haven't gotten to talk to them a lot, but recently getting offered by them, I'm gonna show a lot of interest in them. They're gonna down the stretch be one of the top schools that I look to.
And you know he's all about spreading the football out, the vertical game. So I'm sure he looked at the film and was like, "Big arm, deep ball offer." Like it's cool when you get those kind of offensive minds that see the skill set and go, "Yeah, I see how that fits." Another school I got to talk about, a local one, the Miami Hurricanes. This offer very recent just came through. I could not hide my excitement on the timeline when it happened. How was that getting that offer from one of the hometown favorites?
It was amazing, man. Just knowing Coach Dawson for a little while, being in contact with him, it just felt great when he pulled the trigger. Just trusting in me and also seeing me as a guy that can lead his offense down the line. I mean, it's amazing. They're also going to be one of the top schools I look to for sure.
What's that relationship been like with Coach Shannon Dawson since the first interaction and then how it's evolved?
First time I met him was May of last year. So since then, we've been in contact and we've grown to be really close with each other.
I know he looks at that again. He likes a guy get the ball out quick, accurate, but then push the ball down the field. I mean, one of their mantras last year from starting the spring was "We're going vertical on people." That is everything Michael Clayton does in a nutshell. And then I know those interactions with Cristobal must be fun. What's that relationship like with Mario Cristobal?
I haven't gotten to talk to him a lot, but when I have, it's just been really cool. He's a really cool dude. But yeah, I hope to closen our relationship for sure down the line.
They seem like such a down to earth staff and a staff that likes building relationships more so than just recruiting. Every time I ask like about Dawson, it's always like, "Oh yeah, the relationship with him started." It's not like, "Oh, he started recruiting me on this day." It's more so relationship driven. When you're looking at a program or when a program takes interest in you, what are some of the things you look for from a staff?
I look for the realness in the coach. I don't like when I see a lot of salesmen and coaches. So definitely keeping it real, the relationship I build, and the type of offense they like to run.
And for those of you thinking, does my offense fit? Well, most likely, yes. One of the big calling cards from you last year is your deep ball. Have you always just and situations where you're off platform too, has that always been one of your favorite things to do to just air it out, let it rip?
Well, actually, off platform, I worked a lot last off season, and that's been one of my biggest improvements going into this last season. I haven't been able to showcase that until this previous season, so that's been one of the areas that I've really worked on.
And you work with one of the best quarterback coaches in the country. Speak to the work you guys put in and how important that is developing you so that you can show the evolution in your game, watching from last year, then watching this year, watching you be able to be off balance, not just off platform, but off balanced as well, and dropping a dime.
So that's most of the stuff that we work on with Balin. You know, just working on off-platform throws because everything's not going to be in the pocket with the clear pocket. So just when the pocket breaks down, just getting out of there and being able to make throws in the run.
And he is obviously there's a few quarterbacks that he trains, but what I love about him is you can kind of see his calling card in a lot of you guys. Quick releases, smooth throwing motions, but you're right, you guys all get the ball out of your hands from sometimes really weird situations and poise too. The poise you have in the pocket. Some of those training sessions, speak to some of that work that gets put in behind closed doors that everyone doesn't get to see.
Yeah, so like all of us, man, in my class. So in the Central Florida area, we have a lot of talent, man. So Noah, Darion, Brady, Carter, all of them, man. We all put in a lot of work. A lot of stuff goes into that behind closed doors that you don't see, and that's just part of the reason why we've been able to be so successful.
Do you have a favorite route that you like to throw? Because a lot of times I'm when we watch the tape, it's a lot of pushing the ball down the field, beautiful accuracy on the deep ball too. But do you have a favorite that you like to throw? Like when that's called, you like, all right, let's go.
Probably a corner route, like as you can see right here. Just being able to put a lot of air on it and just letting my receiver run under it.
And then the poise under pressure is something that you see a lot on your film as well. You don't get rattled. You know what I mean? It's almost like for you, I'll take this extra point 0.5. If I got to take a hit, I got to take a hit. Where does that calmness as even a young quarterback come from? Because that's not something you just see this year on your film. You see it last year as well. You've always been really calm in the pocket. Where does that come from?
Just as a young kid, being a coach's kid, my dad always drilled into me to stay calm. You know, being rattled as a quarterback is not a good outcome. So, just him drilling that in my mind as since I was young, it's just helped me a lot.
And then on a play like this, only you can break something like this down because not a lot of people can do this. On a play where you're extending, giving your receivers extra time, how much fun do you have on plays like that, bro?
Those are the funnest plays of the game. It doesn't happen a lot, but when it does, I like to make it a show for sure.
That's a part of your game I feel is a bit underrated because you have the big arm. I feel like when you say dual threat when it comes to you, people are like, "Are you sure?" It's like, yeah, because I think you use your legs in a different way. You use your legs to buy time a lot, to be elusive back there. How important is that for you to not just be a dual threat in the sense where I can pick up a first down or be deadly in the read option, but to also just extend plays and give your receivers a little bit more time?
Yeah, I feel like that's the difference between me and a lot of quarterbacks in my class. You see when the pocket breaks down, I'm definitely looking to throw the ball versus try to run downfield. I feel like that's what separates me for sure.
When do you feel like the game started slowing down for you in the pocket? Because when you see you reacting on a play like this too, the calmness is because it feels like you're not rattled. This thing's not moving as fast for you as it is for everybody else. When did the game start slowing down for you and allowed you to do stuff like this?
Really, my eighth grade season, 14U for Pine Hills Trojans. The game really started slowing down. Just having a great offensive coordinator out of Malcolm Jones. He just taught me a lot about the game of football, and us having a lot of success gave me a lot of confidence. We went 15-0 and won a national championship. So just being able to gain that confidence, just the game slowed down a lot for me.
How much did film study play a part in that as well?
Film study played a big part. You know, going into each week, just learning the whole defense that I'm going against, it really helps prepare me.
This ability to here, Michael, this ability to again poise under the pressure. You know you got a free rusher. Change the arm angle to get that thing out. On paper, it looks like a 10-yard pass. Watching this, crazy impressive here. The ability to change arm angles, still be accurate again off platform. But I want to go back to the arm angle thing. Are you a former baseball player?
I'm not. I never played baseball.
So that ability to change arm angles you usually see in guys that play baseball, where does that come from?
Really just having fun in the backyard, just trying different stuff and working with Balin a lot. He trains that for sure.
The accuracy on the move as well. Absolute dime, bro. The key to being accurate on the move. What is it? Is it knowing that your fundamentals are solid, or is it something that you've kind of always been good at?
I feel like I've been good at on the run. I feel like just getting my shoulder square to my target and just trusting myself. When you start to force throws or try to overthrow a throw, just trusting yourself is just always the best outcome.
And another thing you see about your film, you spread the ball around quite a bit. It's anybody can get it when you're back there. Speak to how important that is to obviously for your receivers. Everyone's constantly dialed in because they know, look, if I get separation, 7 might hit me.
Yeah. I always tell them to, no matter what route you're running, always run at full speed because I'm not one of those quarterbacks that just picks a receiver and just always throws it to him. I read the whole field, and I feel like that's another thing that separates me.
Heck of a throw here, bro. Making sure this goes over the linebacker. Absolute fantastic throw. On a ball like this, break this one down for us, making sure that you get it over that linebacker, but also protecting your guy as well.
So it was a scissors concept, and I seen the safety went with the slot receiver. So there was a there was a hole to hit, and I knew I had to get it over the linebacker. So I hit a two ball to get it over the linebacker.
Protects him as well. Make sure that that oncoming safety is not going to come down and absolutely destroy him if you put that ball too high. Beautiful. He can catch that thing and make a move, get a couple yards after the catch. It's another thing too. You allow your receivers a chance to make a play. It doesn't always have to be an absolute perfect between the numbers, but making sure you hit him in stride like this here, where he can continue to make a play. How important is that to getting your playmakers involved like that?
It's a really important. Uh, if you put the ball in stride, they have more of an ability to make a better play. If you put it behind them, then they're probably going to get tackled. But if you put it in front of them, it gives them the opportunity to go get six.
The trust you had here on this ball, bro, you let this thing rip way before he was ready for it. Speak to that trust you got that you need in your receivers to have success on a timing route like this where you need to know he's gonna be there.
Yeah, specifically him, Zion. We that week we had practiced that route specifically, knowing that we wanted to attack that DB. So just being able to practice it that whole week just allowed us to perfect that in the game.
How excited were you when that was called?
Oh, I was really excited because just knowing all the work that we put into the week was going to pay off with this play here.
And then ran to perfection. Oh, he does a great job shielding that DB off too. Everything about this, bro. I know the OC was losing his mind that this worked exactly how he drew it.
Yeah, for sure.
So for you, when you're studying other quarterbacks, when you're trying to take little tidbits to further your game and to evolve, who are some of the guys you like to watch and learn from?
So I'll do one from college and then from NFL. So right now in the NFL, CJ Stroud, and then in college, Caleb Williams.
CJ Stroud. I see a lot of CJ Stroud in your game too. It's that poise in the pocket, that ability to be accurate too. I think that's one of his best calling cards. Is he throws a very catchable ball. I would imagine all his receivers just love him because CJ either gonna hit you in the numbers or he's gonna hit you in stride. And then growing up in South Florida, something I love to ask all you guys in Florida in general, anywhere there, 7-on-7 is such a big monster out there. It's not as big as it is in other places. Like in Texas, 7-on-7 is a thing. Nowhere near as big as it is there. What's that environment like down there in South Florida playing 7-on-7 with some of the most elite players in the country?
Oh, it's amazing, man. Just being able to go out there and just compete with the best guys all around the country. It's an amazing environment. If you're looking for a 7-on-7 game, it's gonna be in South Florida.
it feels like even you can sit there and watch a game, it be dudes unranked that you like, who is that? Like, who is that dude? It's on every team.
Everybody can go for sure.
Is and then don't let QBs, DBs, and receivers. You could throw the stars out the window when it
Yeah.
comes to y'all down there. It's speed everywhere. How much does 7-on-7 help you evolve as a quarterback?
For me, this season, I've just been working with my high school. Knowing that I just transferred, just being able to get with the new guys, and just being able to build that time is really important for me.
How's that been developing? Obviously, so that timing is ready when the season comes, but how's it been getting to work with those receivers?
It's been amazing, man. They're really talented, and just being able to spend it with them and learn their tendencies is just amazing. So that in August, when the season comes around, we'll be tightening up.
For you, for coming into this junior season, do you have any personal goals that you're writing down that you're hoping to accomplish this year?
State championship.
Let's go. I like so that's one of the things I love, bro. I was like personal goals. He went team off the bat. I didn't even finish my sentence. And you state personal goals. No, state that competitive mindset. Where does that come from, bro? Because that you didn't hesitate, no blinking, no nothing. You said it with 100% conviction. Where does that competitor in you come from?
Really just my household, just being raised. My dad, my mom, even my little sister. We're all really competitive. We hate to lose. So when I met with my head coach, my new head coach, I told him straight up, "That's what you're gonna get out of me." So, and I told my team that too. So just going into the season, that's my only goal.
Game nights must be the most competitive thing in the world at your house, I would imagine. Monopoly board flipped. Like nobody wants to lose. But one thing though I love about that though, that competitive nature, that's passion. So one of the things I like to ask all the recruits, when you're tired, bro, on days like this weekend when you got to put the work in at school, you got to put in the work in, you work with your quarterback coach on the side, you got camps, you got 7-on-7, you got homework. On the days when you're tired, body feels like it can't go no more. What is that why that keeps you pushing?
Definitely just doing it for everybody who is a naysayer. Anybody that says that I can't do this or can't do that, just out to prove them wrong. That's really the main thing.
Cuz I think people forget about that part of y'all's journey, that it's a lot of sacrifice that goes into the dream you're trying to accomplish. It's not just the work you put in with your school. You still got to be a student athlete, which means a student, which means homework, classwork, studying. There's the work you put in with yourself, with your quarterback coach. There's 7-on-7. There's camps. There's visits. There's and then still trying to be a functional human being with a life, being a son. You know what I mean? And a boyfriend and a best friend. There's all these things that go into that struggle of also trying to be a recruit and having a dream. And I think people forget that it is a lot to balance.
Yep, it is.
How do you how do you find that balance? Is there a thing you do outside of football that helps you kind of just recharge?
Talking a lot with God, just building a relationship with Him over the past, I'll say, past year. Really strengthen that relationship with Him, and just putting all my worries and all my anxiousness on to God, and He really just does it for me. To be honest.
Is that connection is important because it's that when those days get tough, when it's when you start being your own worst enemy, you know you have that connection where you can look, let me go get my word in. Let me reaffirm myself that I am who I think I am. You know what I mean? I'm one of his children. I can do whatever it is I set myself to. I love that you have that connection and that passion. I think Francis Mourinho always says it, keep God first, everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah, for
So,
sure.
bro, after this next season, when y'all light it up at Seminole,
Oh
we're
yeah.
gonna have you back on to watch those highlights so we can have an update and all in Arkansas, Miami. Florida State, Penn State, all these schools, Ole Miss, these
Oh yeah.
fans can keep up with you and see how you did your junior year. So let them know where they can follow you on Instagram and Twitter, and I'll link those down in the description so y'all can keep up with him throughout his junior year.
Yeah, so on Instagram, you can follow me at CLAYT7N. And then on Twitter, it's Mike Clayton QB1.
Go follow him so you can keep up with him. Obviously, I will link his huddle down in the description too. A lot of times they break him down game by game. So during his junior year, if you're like, oh, they play so and so, I want to see them highlights. I'll link his huddle down there so you can keep up with it. Obviously, I cannot wait to see what it's going to look like in this offense next year. I wish you nothing but the best of luck in the future. I cannot wait to have you back on next year so we can see you ball out for Seminole. And like I said, if you're in this comment section and your school was named, you're gonna want to follow Michael Clayton because he's definitely gonna be one of those recruits that your school is targeting, especially the one that I'm a fan of. So all you Canes fans, make sure y'all go follow him and go show him some support. Like and share the video. Go follow Michael Clayton right now. We out.